Today on Create, I finally built a train that's not a boat. youtube.com/ZloyXP. This is literally the only channel where that sentence makes sense. I've been living on this island, basically never leaving it for quite a while now, and I finally realized that no one's visiting me because I never built a bridge here. But today we're not building a bridge. Today we'll be building a different kind of ferry, and its name rhymes with monorail. So my goal today is to connect this corner of the island to that corner of the land, which does seem like an incredibly flyable distance, and you can see why I haven't done that yet. Now, one idea I had was obviously to have some sort of a ferry going from that area to here, but honestly it's too small of a zone and I don't really feel like doing that. We already made a couple of ships running around the island. I don't really want to have one just constantly zipping back and forth here. However, if we were to make some sort of a, rope road all the way from there, from the station and all the way to here, that would probably look pretty, especially with the rope wagons going back and forth, back and forth. So I decided to look into one particular new material that I've not used yet. That's right, everybody. My first train was a boat and my second one is gonna be upside down. Here it is. This is the monorail track. And as far as the mod concerned, it is basically just a regular rail. So we're gonna try and make a monorail from here to there and have it go back and forth on some sort of a schedule. Unfortunately for me, the recipe here is a little bit ham. And then also, because this is naturally a train, we'll once again need a lot of train casings. So back to the shop I go. So the recipe here is kind of amazing. It's a girder that you apply a metal bracket and an iron sheet onto, and naturally I have crafted up plenty of those things. However, it's the smashing element afterwards that was really getting annoying, so I had to actually speed up the entire production here. And you can see it's been going much faster than you last remember. That is because I actually splurged and dragged the lava pipe from our lava factory all the way to the workshop basement. And now this spout, what it does is it actually grabs this bucket down here whenever it's empty and fills it with lava. Then, as soon as the lava is filled and as soon as this blaze runs out of power, this arm will feed the lava to the blaze. Something that I had no idea is even possible until you folks commented on it. Now naturally I would have preferred the fluid pipe to just feed directly into a blaze burner, but for some reason that just refuses to work, so I'm fine. This is nice. So if we need to sequence craft something, it's not gonna be an issue anymore. And just to double, triple, quadruple check, our lava farm is at 99% capacity, so eventually we will be making a boiler that's even more powerful, but I don't think that that's gonna be anytime soon, given that, you know how boilers go with me. Oh dear, I did not realize that one metal girder leads to 6 monorail tracks. We got 6 stacks of this. Oh my god, and I crafted up so many resources just in case. That was a mistake. Now granted, I have no idea what the distance between the island and the landmass is, so maybe we will use all of these. Let me grab some train casings and I'll be right back. So we're looking at something like, oh dear, that is very bent. Something like this goes somewhere like this. And we got ourselves a beautiful straight monorail, which I also want to remove all of the stuffs from, so we will also have eventual occasional support pillars rising from the ocean and helping us support this structure. Will we even able to put it upside down? And here's the thing, usually to do something you just right click on the highlighted area and it generally works. And here's the thing that I wanted to do at some point but never had a chance. Every time we did a train previously, we didn't actually want to build the actual train. You can make more than one bogie for your wagon. So you can do something like this here, connect these two together, and naturally it will look much more sturdy. Here's a question though. Do we have to do it on top or can we do it from below? Can we just Oh, this is perfect. We absolutely can. Okay, let me just Yeah. So now we'll be able to just hang a wagon from these bogies and it will just look the best. And there's gonna be a hanging basket going back and forth, back and forth. In fact, I actually want two hanging baskets, but that's something we're gonna talk about later. Right now, I need to get designing for my first ever proper train. That is actually a doozy of its own, because I did want to go for like a nicey, vintagey aesthetic, but for some reason I just keep thinking red, and that means mangrove blocks. And mangrove it's not one tree that I would like to have to farm. On the other hand, look at it. Look at this nice, robust burgundy. Is that burgundy? Is this maroon? Red. It's freaking red. I like this nice red, and I think that it's gonna look really nice in a more industrial setting. This is like the exact color I want, and I might decide to want a different color because of how much of a flipping nightmare mangrove is to chop down. Now, the thing about this train wagon is that I want it to be spacious, and spacious is not really something that you expect out of like Minecraft builds like that. Ultimately, it's a small room going back and forth. So we need to move it a little bit higher, because this right now will just not fit on the station. And we might wanna fiddle with half blocks and half slabs and that kind of material a lot here to fit everything I want. Another thing about that is that our bogies up top are not super visible from all the way here. So I think, nice as these bogies look, I right click them, nothing changes. So I think we'll have to make custom ones. We're gonna grab the cogs, make them the sizable cogs, and I want to maybe try and do this. We also are gonna make it look a little bit nicer by applying the andesite casing to them, even like this. Yeah, this looks very nice, very official, and it is kind of much blatantly mechanistical, you know, from afar. No, but like, look at this. What is this, Minecraft? What is this vanilla Minecraft? How am I supposed to find a log amongst all of this shrubbery? And naturally, that's a problem with the trains. That's a thing about create non-mechanized. It's not gonna move. It's not gonna visibly spin, unfortunately. But I like it a lot anyway, so let's just hold on to it. Another couple materials that I never used before are here the brass bricks, and actually kind of the cut brass bricks, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, these like more roundish, more square ones. Brass tiles, they're called. They are looking pretty good, and you can get a bunch of them from just a single brass sheet, which makes them much preferential to brass blocks, mind you. And of course, there's glass. But we can get tileable glass if we just apply glass to the train casings. Getting train glass casings, which is just so perfect for what we're trying to accomplish here. What's better, if we apply even more glass to it, we get clear train glass casings, which are perfectly see-through and everything, and it is just so good. Overall, my logic is that this side is going to be the one that people actually walk in through, and that side is going to be the one that's like the sightseeing one. So all the glass is going to go here, and all the doors are going to go here. The entry door, the exit door, and probably if I get any extra space, I would like to have a cabin for the driver. Like a kind of a separated little nook where the driver is gonna sit. Don't think we'll be charging money for using this though, because, well, if we want our workers to ever get onto the island, into the factory, yeah, we actually need to deliver them there ourselves. This is a necessary communal service. It does not need to make any profits. And probably my favorite part about this entire design are these valve pretending to be kind of a train stoppy things to prevent them from bumping into anything, and also these placards over here and over here pretending to be the headlamps. And here's a cool thing you can do with the casings and the glass, by the by. It actually gonna connect if I transferred this into a glass variant, but if it's clear glass, it does this really neat effect where the windows are kind of doubled. I love this, and I want it all over this wagon. I'm only not putting it here up front because I feel like that's gonna obstruct the view for the, driver. So we don't want that, but I do think that will be... I cannot transport these anymore. Oh well, I guess I'm gonna get Silk Touch pickaxe eventually. And now that the hull is done and we got a little cabin for the driver, I want to obviously do the interior of this little wagon. So, of course, we want a full row of sitting area for the passengers in the back. That's kind of how the buses are. And I think we'll do every other block for everything else. Might even want to splurge on some trapdoors for the back sides of these. Obviously, we will probably need some Nixie tubes or something, some sort of light, so might as well Nixie tube it up. And this is something that I really wanted and that like blew my mind once I realized. I can do the shafts as the holding, I honestly don't know what they're called. It's like rods, like metal rods that you hold onto so you don't fall while the cabin is moving. And altogether, all of this makes it really look like some kind of a public transit system, some sort of a wagon or a bus. But not on the outside, mind you. On the outside, this very much is just a rectangle. It's been several hours since I built a rectangle. I made a brick. We'll have to make this more fancy somehow. I don't even know how. Can always count on the trapdoors and the half slabs to add depth. And I'm gonna add some horizontal shafts going here to pretend that they're like little maintenance steps that you can stand on. It makes sense visually, but I do think that on the actual station we'll have to add some sort of block that like goes over them, so that the passengers don't have to do this back and forth all the time. There are not gonna be any passengers. I don't know why I'm making any of this. This is just for me. I'm the only person who lives on the island. The big train assemble. We'll name it basket 1 because I want 2 of these, meaning that, oh dear god, I will have to build the second one. Oh! But can we depart without leaving any of ourselves behind? The answer is we cannot. How I forgot to duct tape the lower trapdoors is genuinely beyond me. And now that we got our train nice and polished, all we need to do is drag it all the way up there. Yeah, this rail that's been flying around the entire time is where this entire line is actually going to be on. We have to go quite far up so that the cars of the train line don't interfere with whatever might be coming into harbor. And yeah, I may have gotten a little bit too tall still. I might drop it down by like 5 to 10 blocks. But the general gist of it is already there. It's gonna be a nice, very stretched, very ovalist shape, with 2 lines, one going there and one going back. The reason for that is because, well, I don't want our train to have to go backwards. So my logic here is not to just have a train that I like walk into, drive all the way off of the island, go back in, drive all the way onto the island. I want there to be 2 separate cars constantly exchanging spaces between the 2 stops. That way, if I approach the area from this side, after having not used a train car to go on this side, there will always be at least one of those trams waiting for me to transport me. In fact, that's what I want them to do. I want one car to wait for the other one before it departs. That way, on the way there, we can wave to the passengers on the opposite car as we pass them, which I think is gonna be really cute. But that's me getting way ahead of myself. We gotta first establish the actual rail, and also somehow teleport this car all the way up there. That's gonna be very confusing. Yeah, this looks structurally sound. The sound in question being Okay, no big deal. Let's see if we can take it for a train ride. Ah, damn it. To this. Oh my god, it teleported me inside. And let's give it a little try, a little go. Here. Ooh, the F5 on this is actually pretty impressive. Look at that. And oh no, I never noticed. When we're moving, the doors close. Oh, there's so much adorable detail in this mode. How have I ever lived without it? Okay, stop though. Like, it's cool. It's cool. It's wonderful. It's great. We can't actually see anything from the engineer's cabin, but let's not get ahead of ourselves. We have the train car. We have the rail. We need a second train car, and of course, we need the stations themselves. And some way for the stations to communicate that, hey, dude, check this out, there's a train here, you need to keep your train back on that station until this one departs. Because I really do not want them to move when the other one's not moving. I want them to basically be like, both at the stations, both moving, both at the stations again. I think that makes the most sense with only the two cars. And no, from up here, it's so peaceful and nice. I love this. Awesome. Okay, let's get this done. I cannot believe that the maintenance rails, like these ones, actually are coming in handy, because without them I would not be able to land here. Now obviously on either side there's gonna be some sort of a building to welcome their arrivals. And yeah, this building being this high, this tall, it's probably not gonna be wheelchairs accessible. So we will need to look into some elevators once again and figure out maybe how to do those. And this is actually an incredibly important building for this island too, because well, once we got that corner done, we have basically this half of the island perfectly complete. Well, outside of some infrastructural extra walkways and whatnot. So obviously we're not gonna build this whole thing ourselves, we're just gonna first position set, second position set, there we go, we got a schematic of the entire wagon. Still gonna need all the materials though, so that's a nice half an hour. Oh yeah, that's what we wanna see. I'm seriously just gonna record this as a time lapse. This is my first time-lapse in like 5 videos. And it's me time-lapsing building a box with no discernible features. Wow! The production value of my series has really went downhill, hasn't it? Let's get this baby onto the trucks. If this works out, I'll be very, very impressed, because I genuinely don't see why it should. But we got one of these. I don't know, maybe let's try one of these. The minecart contraption in here. Oh my god, it's almost exact. It's almost exact. It just needs to be one block behind and one block lower. No way, this is the most accurate I've ever been with these. This is like precise science. I'm very afraid of just moving my hand, honestly. Yoink this, place this. It's now actual blocks. Let's see if it's all connected. It really better be. I'm pretty sure that I can now assemble this train. Oh heck yeah, we're doing it, everything's fine. So now, if I can only pull it just a couple new blocks for the temporary track. And now if I can right click this, I should be able to put this here. Oh my god, every single time I here, just gotta make sure that I'm doing it with the right direction. Yeah. Awesome. And now we got 2 monorail trains on our, well, okay, it's a monorail, but it's kind of double-sided. The trick here now is to put some drivers in there and see if I can accomplish the system that I want to. Because it's one thing that now, okay, cool, we have some rails going, it's not that impressive. It's another thing entirely to manifest the scheduling thing that I want. And we'll need redstone for it, so brace for me. Brace for the impact, actually. We'll need something called a train observer. So train observers are pretty simple. These boys are essentially pressure plates, but for trains, which is really cool. Now this thing will output a redstone signal if a train is over it. And we have these things called redstone links that are essentially wireless redstone. So yeah, we will want them. I'm gonna put the second train observer in it just for giggles. Train observer monorail, there we go. But here's the thing, the schedules that we've been using to set up train riders don't only allow you to tell a train to go to a station. See, we can make this one travel to island rail, which is where it's right now, wait 5 seconds, or do something else. Tell it to maybe wait until the next time of day. Fluid cargo condition, redstone link, player seated cargo, all that kind of stuff. And of course it would be the most convenient here to be like, okay, if a player is sitting in there, ride off, it's fine. But I don't actually want that, because only this train, that way, will know that the player is seated. So we'll need something else. And luckily we can do that. We can add a secondary condition that is gonna be not a compound one. It's not gonna be not an AND gate, an OR gate, if you know what I mean. So we'll have a redstone link, and that's why I've set up the redstone link that I showed you. If a player is in there, or if this redstone link is on, that's when this train is meant to start moving. And then, after it starts moving, it will go to the next station, which is naturally the ashore rail, the station across the pond. And then the beauty of it is that on that particular station, it will instead go and do the exact same condition for both players or a redstone link. That means that if we have these two trains following this exact schedule, then they will essentially forever be in the kind of a situation. As soon as I sit into this train, that train will also start moving. I drive by that particular pressure plate area, this redstone link gets activated, and the train starts going. Now naturally we'll need to copy this thing all the way up there, but you know, it's a minor issue. Will this work? I have no idea. All I know is that we need now a couple volunteers for this to function. And I'm gonna say chickens because, well, they are at least protected from fall damage. And I want to be honest with you, I completely forgotten how to put one on my head as a hat. I remember that I can't do it, I don't remember how to. Okay, with my two boys on here, I'm genuinely confused as to what is even happening now. Ah! Look! The other boy! He left! Oh my god! If I get into the train right now, will it move? And will both trains move? Well, yep, apparently if I do sit down, then yes. And look, as we move by, another train departs and leaves. This is so beautiful. It's not exactly as synced up as I would want it to, but it's definitely darn close to it. The problem is I'm still seated on the station, so that way it never actually stops. If I'm still seated on the station, it never actually stops and it just keeps rolling. Yeah, whatever. And there goes the second one, and we wave to them! Yay! And we're on our station, we get up and we walk out. This is so perfect. I cannot express how cool this is. And now we got a really fancy way of getting to and from the island. Or we will have one as soon as I build an actual train station leading up to these carriages. Which I'm really looking forward to, by the way, because once again, it will complete this side of the island, leaving only this street to be finished. Well, and also the central plaza. I just don't really know what to do with just yet. Let me know in the comments, and I'm gonna get at you next time, when we'll be getting into the train station building.